Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT. This is WWE 2K26 Universe Mode episode 40. And tonight we are back live in the NXT shed and the Performance Center for another action-packed edition of NXT from Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the show, folks. I'm Callum, otherwise known as the KO King. Welcome to KO Production and welcome to the Black and Silver brand of NXT, where as always we have an action-packed show in store for everybody here this evening. So let's waste no further time and get straight into the action. Here we go, man. Let's get to work. And tonight we're kicking things off in a big way. It is time for a women's jackpot ladder match qualifying contest for NXT Deadline, our first NXT special event of the season before Money in the Bank. In 2 weeks' time, we're having two Money in the Bank style ladder matches for future championship opportunities anytime, anywhere, for up to the next year. And it's time for a women's qualifier here in this one, folks. Last week we saw the first women's qualifier, Sol Ruka defeating our good friend Zarya. Here comes a woman that Sol shared the ring with in the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match 2 weeks ago. And it's the glamorous Blake Monroe. What a great way to kick us off tonight, live in Orlando. Blake Monroe was penciled to face a mystery opponent tonight. She doesn't know who she's facing. We don't know who she's facing. I guess there's only one thing to do right now, and that is to find out. Who's Blake Monroe going to be facing this women's jackpot ladder match qualifying contest for NXT Battleground? And oh my, it's the woman we saw this past week on WWE Dark with a dominant victory over Maxine Dupree in her debut. It's Triple A's Flammer. Well, this is interesting to say the least. Flammer getting an opportunity tonight to qualify for the Battleground jackpot ladder match, going down in her first NXT special event of the season, defeating Maxine Dupree in her debut on WWE Dark this past week, and now facing off against another blonde in the form of Blake Monroe, but a very dangerous blonde in the form of Blake Monroe, man. Part of the NXT Women's North American ladder match, much like Sol Ruka, who's already qualified for the jackpot ladder match, so there's obviously a lot of experience in that matchup with Sol Ruka already. Blake Monroe wants to add to that here tonight against Flammer. We're not very happy to see Flammer on Dark, not very happy to see her tonight, clearly in favour of Blake Monroe, which is very interesting. But here we go, referee ring the bell, matchup is underway in your opening contest tonight of NXT from Orlando. Felix Hernandez, the official. He's assigned the duties for this one. He rings the bell. Your contest now on NXT is underway. The opening battle tonight. Monroe, Flammer. This is done by Blake into a waistlock that time on Flammer. Turns around and got on that headlock takeover now. Grounding Flammer on the canvas this time. Flammer in trouble now. Courtesy of Blake Monroe. The glamorous one herself. As Blake, oh wait a minute, Flammer fighting out of that. Now got the legs between the head of Blake Monroe. Monroe in trouble. Monroe able to fight through the pain, fighting out of it, and now back out of the offense, and here we go. Collarbone tie up once again. These women go, and now it's Flammer turns it around. Wrist look now, the arm bringer on Blake Monroe. Monroe in trouble. Flammer got that cinched in tight. Who's going to get the upper hand here in this exchange? And it looks like it's going to be Flammer again. Turns it right into the hammerlock this time. Flammer in control. Looking good here at NXT. Big headlock now by Flammer. Monroe now in trouble. Flammer side headlock on Blake Monroe, but Monroe gonna whip her off, and now Blake Monroe with a nice spine buster on Flammer that time. Monroe able to get the offense now, creating some separation. Now ground and pound offense now on Flammer. The opening contest in NXT tonight. When we come tonight, we got two men's jackpot ladder match qualifying matches for NXT Battleground, and we got the final semi-final contest of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. The winners facing Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee of the LWO next week in the finals. The winners of that battling the Creed brothers, the NXT Tag Team Champions and NXT Battleground for the Tag Team titles. Nice drop kick there by Flammer. Huge night of action here on NXT. What a way to kick us off. It's Flammer of Triple A. Officially signed now on NXT. Facing Blake Monroe for opportunity to join Sol Ruka. And the NXT Jackpot ladder match at Battleground. Cover it, defeat there. 2 count and a kick out by Blake Monroe that time. Flammer can't believe it. Not able to get the win just yet, but needs to keep her foot in the gas pedal here in your opening contest on NXT this evening. Forearm thrown off, and now Blake Monroe with a drop kick. Nicely done by Monroe that time. Now it's Blake Monroe in the corner, and Monroe now with a drop kick. We saw her do that before. We'll see her do that again with a great affection, but not able to get that dive there. Way in a position. Miscalculated that time, and now it's Flammer going to try and do it herself, but miscalculating her in her own right. Both women costing each other a great valuable time in this matchup, and there's Flammer running in. Hurricane run of that time on Blake Monroe at the corner. Can she connect this time? No, she cannot. Monroe this time getting to her feet though, moving out the way. No water on the pool for Flammer. The kick caught. Flammer able to take her down, and look at these ground and pound offense. Big forearms to the chest and midsection of Blake Monroe. And out of the corner, there's Flammer this time able to connect. Got it right in the back. Flammer now in control. And now staring that glamorous face right there to the canvas. Oh, that bloody face gonna take away under a cover. There is Flammer off the top. Big splash cover to qualify. And the Jackpot ladder match at Battleground. It's a kick out by Blake Monroe that time. And now it's Flammer, middle rope, clearly in control, but the crowd ain't too happy about Flammer tonight. Middle rope, what's Flammer got in? 9 on a double knee, face breaker of Monroe, the cover, hook in the leg. Shoulder down to qualify, the kick out by Monroe once again. Almost had the victory in her grasp that time with a big knee. Right in the back of Monroe, maybe out of the way there was Blake. Next shot in the midsection by Monroe, calling to tie up by Blake this time. Blake backing her up, and a pile driver on Flammer. My goodness, hook in the leg, shoulders down, 1 count, and a kick out by Flammer after being dropped on her head by a devastating pile driver. That is incredible. And now it's Blake Monroe picking her up, fireman's carry, TKO. And not the corrupt version of TKO that runs WWE. No, that was a great TKO by Blake Monroe. And they're going to drop Flammer down. Looking for a penalty kick. Moving the way was Flammer. Shoulders down. No, both women roll through Flammer forearm. Look at the side of the head of Monroe. And they're running in with another runner. Sick maneuver by the luchador Flammer. Picking her up to a vertical base. Now what's Flammer got in mind? Fireman's carry of her own night. Rolling through. And a nice maneuver there. Flammer, middle rope, flying and splash from the second rope, the cover to qualify on the Jackpot ladder match at Battleground. 2 count kick out by Blake Monroe. Nice kick upside the back of the neck. Monroe able to move the arms away. Blake Monroe with a sling blade. Not often do we see that. Oh, the glamorous one, a massive headbutt by Monroe. Elbow drop to the back by Blake now. Blake in control. Middle rope with a glamorous one. Waiting for Flammer to get to her feet. What is Blake looking for here? Blake Monroe taking flight. Blockbuster from a middle rope. Now into the cover. Shoulders down. Blake Monroe to qualify. And a Jackpot ladder match. He kicked out immediately by Flammer. Kick caught by Flammer. Able to throw her away. Now Flammer looking to put her away here. Uh-oh! Gonna drop her down to the canvas! Don't even know what to call that incredible maneuver, but it was effective to cover. The 2 count Flammer to qualify, and the Jackpot ladder match. Monroe barely getting that shoulder off the canvas, but an enthusiastic kick out nonetheless. Does the NXT official Felix Hernandez now. Monroe getting caught there by Flammer, ground and pound offense. Should I do more damage to that gorgeous face of Blake Monroe? To the inside now goes Flammer. What's she thinking here? On the apron, Flammer maybe looking to fly here. Oh, but maybe thinking against it. He's looking maybe for a springboard maneuver, just a big kick to the midsection of the forearm by Flammer. Looking for another forearm, this time thrown away by Blake Monroe. And then Monroe grabbing both arms now. Oh, Flammer and a knee right across the jaw of Flammer, the cover. Hook in the leg, shoulders down for victory to qualify. And a Jackpot ladder match and a kick out by Flammer. Monroe wants to join Sol Ruka and be a part of her second ladder match here on NXT this season. And qualify into that contest at Battleground to be a part of the first NXT PLE in the season. Flammer went for the win there. Off the crucifix. It was a kick down and face first. Goes Flammer by Blake Monroe. Blake now takes the midsection. Glamorous DDT. Covered by Monroe to qualify. And a jackpot ladder match. Hooking the leg. Shoulders down. Scoring 2 6 and Hernandez. Not kicked out by Flammer again. Oh, Blake can't believe it. This is Flammer's second match of the season. This is Blake's third. Blake's 1-1. Flammer's 1-0. Who's going to get that duke tonight? Who is going to join Sol Ruka in the NXT Jackpot Ladder match at NXT Battlegrounds? And the women's version at least. Flammer, it could be. Oh, the turning! Twisting. Slam that time. Nice driver. Cover. 2 count on Monroe. No! Kicked out by Blake. Oh, what a battle. The twisting set-out driver almost allowed Flammer to get the victory tonight. Ain't to be just yet. Now what's Flammer thinking? Got her against the ropes. Uh-oh, Blake don't want to be there. Gonna smack her right in the chest with a knife edge chop. Oh, what devastating blow by Flammer. The kick moving up the way is Blake. And then Blake gonna clothesline her in the corner. And they're gonna choke her out in the corner. Referee fills her out. There's gonna have to step in here. Try and get these two to break apart. Monroe gonna do so. What a fight though. Live in your opening contest is Flammer taking her down with a Hurricane Rana. You gotta imagine the only woman thus far to qualify in the NXT Women's Jackpot Ladder match. Sol Ruka looking on very closely to see who will join her in that contest. 4-arm by Blake Monroe. Next chop by Monroe in the back of the head. 4-arm then by Blake. Nice kick to the midsection now by Monroe. And then Monroe, the double knee face breaker. Cold breaker right in the face of Flammer. And now it's Blake, firmly in control. Picking up Flammer now to a vertical base. Blake Monroe now, hooking both arms away. Big knee right in the bridge of the nose. Oh, Flammer. Monroe now closing in for victory. Second time of the match now. Kick to the midsection. Glamorous DDT with a double under. Hooking on the cover. Hooking the leg. Shoulders down to qualify into the NXT Women's Jackpot Ladder match. There's two. Blake Monroe gets the win and joins Sol Ruka to be a part of the second ladder match both women will be a part of this season. This time for a Money in the Bank equivalent briefcase of the NXT side of things. The women's jackpot contract hanging in the balance with those two women already qualified. They're the first 2 out of 6. We'll find out the other 4 women in the next 2 weeks to come here on NXT. But congratulations going up to Blake Monroe for a massive win over the luchador Flammer from AAA. Flammer gave a great effort. She was victorious this past weekend at her debut against Maxine Dupree, but couldn't say the same about her contest tonight with Blake Monroe. Monroe victorious. She is going to NXT Battleground. Congratulations going out to Blake Monroe tonight, picking up her second win of the season. Her first one on an episode of WWE Dark against Hayden Paxley. Her second on the big stage of NXT tonight against AAA's Flammer. She is going to NXT Battleground to compete in the NXT Women's Jackpot Ladder match alongside Sol Ruka and 4 others to be determined in the next couple of weeks. But that'll come tonight, your big time main event tonight as the NXT North American Champion Big Bronson regional title action, taking on the former NXT Champion Trick Williams and an NXT Men's Jackpot qualifying contest. That's coming your way later on tonight. Also later on, the final semi-final matchup in the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Grayson Waller and Ethan Page collide with the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Rey Fenix. Also coming your way later on this evening. But right now we're back live on NXT as there you see Miles Bourne set for action. He'll be competing here tonight in a men's NXT Jackpot Ladder match qualifier for NXT Battleground here tonight to join the likes of Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who defeated the young OG, the Cruiserweight champ Javon Evans last week to qualify, giving Javon his first loss of this season. And the ruler Obafemi, who lost out in a triple threat matchup with Ilya Dragunov and Joe Hendry. Dragunov winning by pinning Hendry. Dragunov now the number 1 contender for the NXT Championship. He'll be facing Austin Theory for the NXT title in the main event of NXT Battleground. For the gold, there is Obafemi. Due to the caveat of that triple threat contest, wasn't pinned, wasn't submitted to lose. Therefore, he's going to be a part of the NXT Men's jackpot ladder match. Who will be the third to join? And we find out the fourth tonight in the main event as well, between Big Bronson Reed and Trick Williams. But who will be joining then? Will it be Miles Bourne? Or will it be this man, the chairman, Shawn Spears? Gonna be a fun one tonight.
From Niagara Falls, Canada, weighing in at 223 pounds, Shawn Spears!
Shawn Spears currently 0-3. Badly needs a win this season. He lost a tag match, teaming up with Ethan Page and losing effort to Trick Williams and Obafemi in his first appearance on NXT in the third episode of NXT this season. He also lost the Fatal 4-Way #1 contendership matchup for the NXT Championship, which saw Austin Theory get the contendership win by pinning Shawn Spears in that matchup, and then went on the next week to win the NXT title. That matchup also included Obafemi and Ilya Dragunov. And then, of course, Shawn Spears losing out to Ilya Dragunov 2 weeks ago here now on an episode of WWE Dark after Dragunov badly wanted revenge on Spears after Spears attacked him in the parking lot in the second episode of NXT, rendering him the third episode of NXT, rendering him unable to compete in the tag team main event, which was supposed to be him and Trick versus Page and Spears. It ended up being Femi and Trick versus Page and Spears. Even a worse outcome for Page and Spears on that night. But here we go. Bell's been rung. Referee Dallas Irvin assigned the duties for this one. Who will join Dirty Dom and Obafemi in the NXT men's jackpot ladder match? You got to imagine both men are looking on closely at this one. Here we go. Horrible tie to get us started here in this one. Miles Bourne 1-1 in this series. He picked up his first win on the season by defeating Joe Hendry in the main event of an episode of WWE Dark, but then lost out to Big Bronson Reed in a North American Championship contest. A couple of weeks later, and there's Shawn Spears getting the upper hand that time off the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, now cartwheeling and pandering to the sold-out crowd in Orlando, Florida, in a performance center tonight on NXT. Miles Bourne now waistlock on Shawn Spears, now shoulders down here, Schoolboy Bourne for the win. I got a jackpot ladder match kick out. Aye, Shawn Spears that time. Back in the lockup, who's going to get the upper hand? Here is both men jockeying for position, wanting to get an opportunity at the first NXT special event of this season, which will be Battleground one day before Money in the Bank in 2 weeks' time. And they'll get Shawn Spears now. Nice headlock takeover, got Miles Bourne down to the canvas. Bourne, no Gollum where he wants him, now got the legs across the neck of Spears. Spears in trouble that time, and Shawn Spears going to kick out of that one, and here we go. Back out of these two superstars. Miles Bourne, nice shot there. Spears firing back, knife edge drop. Spears one of his own. Bourne one of his own. There's Spears one of his own. There's Miles Bourne. Now here we go. Back and forth action. Trading blows heavily on the offense here between these two men. Live on NXT. Back and forth they go tonight. Live on the black and silver brand. Who's going to get the upper hand? It's going to be Miles Bourne with a drop kick right upside the top of the head of Shawn Spears tonight. Miles Bourne looking good here tonight, folks. Miles Bourne into a cutter by Miles. Cutter by Bourne. Shades of the Viper Randy Orton, a man that Miles has a lot of comparisons to. As he heads up to the middle rope, Miles Bourne now. Missile drop kick from the second rope now on Shawn Spears. And Spears now going to catch a breather against the ropes there. Miles Bourne through, had a steam clothesline, set Spears to the floor, and if this was a Royal Rumble, Spears would have just been eliminated there. Miles Bourne in control, off the ropes now is Bourne, toe pick on Halo by Miles. Unbelievable offense by one of the next future stars of the industry, Miles Bourne. Miles now heading up to the tippy top rope. Frog splash by Bourne, cover. Hook in the leg, shoulders down, scoring 2 on Spears, the near fall. Spears powering up that shoulder off the canvas, but it's Miles Bourne, not done with him, not by a long shot. Back up to the well, top rope again, an elbow drop now by Bourne. And a cover again on Spears, put him at the chest of that one. There's 2 count, a kick out there, says the referee, Dallas Irvin. Miles, went for the standing moonsault press. Spears able to move out the way of that one, and Spears caught him with a knee tremble. Now Shawn Spears trying to get back out of this one now. Spears now going to send Bourne into the corner here on NXT, folks. Who's going to join Dirty Dom and Obafemi in the winner of tonight's main event as well between North American champ Big Bronson Reed and the former NXT champion Trick Williams as there's Shawn Spears Superplex off the top, taking both men out of the equation for the moment. As the crowd chant, this is awesome indeed it is. Live and Orlando Spears running in neckbreaker now on Miles Bourne. And now Spears in the driver's seat of this one. Big kick to the midsection. Sean Spears picking him up now for a patella drop. Brain buster to Bourne. Cover, hook in the leg. Shoulders down to qualify for the next team match. Jackpot ladder match and Bourne able to power out at 2. Sullivan with a fair call there, but Spears can't believe it, man. He's going to keep his foot in the gas pedal though. Cannot get frustrated. And this one against Bourne tonight. Big stop against the top of the head. By Sean Spears, he heads up to the middle rope now. Spears perhaps looking to fly here in this one. Miles Bourne. Precarious position now on the canvas. Big boot there by Spears. Now blockbuster off the middle rope by Spears. Cover. Shoulders down on Miles Bourne to qualify in the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder Match 2 count. No! Kick out at 2. But a weak kick out that time by Miles Bourne. Could be a great sign of things to come for Sean Spears in this contest. Could he snap his losing streak in this season and qualify for the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder Match? But hold on, Miles Bourne picking him up now. Oh, Shigaroshi and Bourne now with a flipping neck breaker on a seated Spears. Cover, hook in the leg, shoulders down to be a part in the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder Match kicking at 2 by Sean Spears. Fast and frantic paced battle tonight between these two superstars as Miles Bourne hitting that standing moonsault press on Spears. And then Miles Bourne picking him up on the again. Shades of Randy Orton, the backbreaker style there by Miles. Shades of what the Viper would do. But there's Sean Spears running in and a clothesline by Spears. Gonna drop Miles in the corner. They're choking him out in the corner. Referee Dallas Sullivan stepping in to get Spears to let go of the hold, or else he'll be disqualified and Bourne will go to NXT Battleground and compete in the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder Match. Spears picking him up in control. DDT dropping him on his head. Cover, hook in the leg. Shoulders down. Spears to qualify here. 2 down. Kick out again. Great battle tonight between these two superstars. All the boot moving out the way. Miles Bourne backslide. Cover, pinning predicament. Shoulders down. Miles Bourne to go to Battleground. 2 down. Kick out by Sean Spears. Both men tensely just looking right in the other one's face. Big kick to the midsection by Sean Spears. Spears now big shot block. Miles Bourne with a shot. Nice forearm by Miles. Another forearm by Miles. And a third one. And Miles is absolutely on fire in this one. Oh, but there's that egg trembler again by Spears. And that could be the end. It could be all she wrote for Miles Bourne in this one. Spears, C4, Spike, the death Valley, driver, cover, hook in the leg, shoulders down, Spears thing on a Battleground, and a kick out by Miles Bourne. Almost qualifying for NXT Battleground in the men's Jackpot Ladder Match, but Bourne stayed, and a look at Spears clothesline and the referee Dallas Sullivan. He is pissed, and now Spears going to get his trusty steel chair from outside the underneath of the ring, but there's Miles Bourne though, able to forearm it out of his hand, and a Bourne again. Cover, hook in the leg, shoulders down to qualify for the NXT Jackpot Ladder Match. Slow count from the official, and a kick out at 2 by Spears, but slow count allowing Spears to kick out because Spears able to knock down the referee, causing the referee not to be able to perform his full pace count. But Miles Bourne has this chair in his hand. Referee takes it from him though. Shoulders down. Schoolboy. Spears to steal it. 2 counted on a slow count, which this time allowed Miles to kick it. That may have costed Spears. Went for the super kick. Bourne big shot. And then Miles on the forearm strike. Referee getting rid of the steel chair, the European uppercut by Miles Bourne. What a battle tonight between these two superstars. Miles up. Spears down. Overhead bell to belly throw as both men are down here. Crucial part of that chop here in this contest. This NXT Jackpot Men's Ladder Match qualifying contest for NXT Battleground. Our first NXT PLE event of this season. Another cutter by Miles. This time in a cover. Almost like an RKO there. Hook in the leg. Shoulders down. Miles to go to Battleground. Spears able to kick out. Miles in disbelief. Oh, you can see him getting visibly frustrated now. There's that elbow moving out the way that time with Sean Spears. Spears nice shot and a super kick to the midsection by Spears. And that might allow Spears to snap his losing streak. Maybe not for long. Miles Bourne. Oshigaroshi perhaps for the second time. He nailed it. Miles Throws him down the cover, hook of the leg, shoulders down, says Dallas Sullivan, but there's the shoulder up at 2 by Spears. Again, Miles can't believe his eyes. Now, for a man that has not won any of his matches just yet, Shawn Spears, he is certainly putting on a great showing against Miles Bourne. Moving away, that missile drop kick from the middle rope, and now Shawn Spears picking him up, turns him round, spinning knee to the face, almost like an A-Town down there. Courtesy of the NXT champion Austin Theory, cover on board, and the down. No! Almost went the battleground, almost qualifying for the NXT jackpot ladder match, but a kick out there. Oh, and Spears once again going after his handy steel chair at ringside, but the referee is up. You can't use it or else you definitely will be disqualified. The referee going to take it away from him. And it was Miles Bourne with a shot now. Oh, big elbow, counter by Spears. Spears now going to pick him up. Now it's Shawn Spears with him out of the back door. Miles Bourne in 33. They're going to two, courtesy of Dallas Sullivan. Miles Bourne looking for victory to qualify for the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder match at NXT Battleground. Bourne again for the second time in the match by Bourne, but he ain't done just yet. Looking to put the nail on the top for the Spears, the second time in a row. Third of the match. Bourne again connects. Hook in the leg. Shoulders down. He's the victory. 2 down. Miles Bourne got him. Bourne has qualified into the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder match at Battleground. He could be on track to become a future NXT champion by having the NXT Jackpot contract and has grasped. What an incredible win. Spears unfortunately goes to 0-4 in this series. Bourne 1 and 2. And he is going to be a part of the first NXT special event of this season with that maneuver right there. Bourne again 3 times in the matchup. Miles Bourne, a huge win tonight live on NXT in Orlando. So, what a career-defining win tonight for Miles Bourne. Live on NXT in Orlando, Florida. A massive statement-making win live on the PC for Bourne. As the next time we see this man, he could be climbing the ladder, taking down the jackpot contract and becoming Mr. Jackpot here on NXT, a potential future NXT champion. Congratulations going out to Miles Bourne. But coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, is the final semi-final matchup in the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. The winner goes on to the finals next week to take on the LWO's Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar. The winners of that take on the Creed Brothers for the NXT Tag Team Gold at NXT Battleground. It's Ethan Page and Grayson Waller taking on Penta and Rey Fenix and the Lucha Brothers. And it's next live in your penultimate contest in the evening live on NXT. And out first, here comes the Aussie Icon. And the ringside area, trying to root on Waller and Page tonight is the NXT Champion Theory.
Introducing first, accompanied by Austin Theory from Sydney, Australia, weighing in at 204 pounds, Grayson Waller.
It was originally supposed to be Grayson Waller teaming up with now the NXT Champion Austin Theory, but Theory won the championship with assistance from Grayson Waller and this man, all ego, Ethan Page.
Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 225 pounds, all ego, Ethan Page.
Because Page and Waller gave Theory a little helping hand in becoming the NXT Champion, Ethan Page was the man to take the place of Austin Theory and the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic to team with Grayson Waller in this tournament. They already survived the first round by defeating the Alpha Academies, Akira Tozawa and Otis. Let's see how they do in the semi-finals. Can they make it all the way to the finals to face the winners of the last week's semi-final contest, Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar of the LWO, who in the first round was able to defeat Psycho Clown and Mr. Iguana of AAA. Now the newest addition of the NXT Tag Team Division, the Psycho Creatures, and then last week in the semi-finals defeating Fraxium of Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Let's see how they can fare against this dynamic duo, a team that has wrestled all over the world together. Two men that know each other very well. They are luchadors. They are brothers. They are the Lucha Brothers. And out first is the incredible Ray Phoenix. Listen to this place go crazy. It was this man, Ray Phoenix, who competed in his debut in singles competition, defeating Lexus King a couple of weeks back. And then it was a couple of weeks ago on NXT, where him and Penta were able to defeat Angel and Bertov, lost the Farios in the first round of Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic to advance into the semi-final round here tonight. Ray Phoenix knows how to make an entrance, knows how to make an impact in that ring, I'll tell you, and so does his tag team partner. A very interesting subject to talk about in this contest, as well as his tag team partner makes his way to the ring, the extraordinary Luchador Penta. This man has absolutely cero miedo, as he's showing you right here, right now. He competed in his debut singles matchup, defeating the Aussie icon Grayson Waller of all people. Let's see if Waller can get his win back against Penta alongside Paige tonight in the semi-finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It's Paige and Waller versus Penta and Phoenix and the Lucha Brothers, and it's name.
The Luchadors from Ecatepec, Mexico, weighing in at 94 kilos, Penta!
Here we go then, folks. Who's going to face Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar of the LWO in the finals of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic? We find out next in the semi-final matchup. It's next, live in Orlando. We're back live on NXT matchup. Gonna commence here. Referee Gary Wilson rings the bell. It's Grayson Waller and Ray Phoenix starting us off here in this one. Phoenix with a super kick right upside the nose of Waller, and a rolling hurricane run by Ray Phoenix that time on Grayson Waller, and a Phoenix splash off the springboard, but not able to connect with it. Grayson Waller gonna make him pay for that, and Waller with a snap DDT on Ray Phoenix. So look at Grayson Waller, the Aussie icon, and Myron's handiwork, and he's able to do a rolling maneuver of his own. Anything you can do, I can do better mentality out of the arsenal of Grayson Waller tonight with that rolling flatline, and then that nice elbow drop on Phoenix. Jawbreaker roll by Ray Phoenix, able to come back in, and that's one of those. Ray Phoenix with a incredible forearm smack, and there's the springboard Phoenix splash cover from the official Gary Wilson. 2 count a kick out by Grayson Waller that time. Ray Phoenix making a tag, and comes Penta of the Lucha Brothers, and now Penta with a sling blade. Into the top rope, now to put away the Aussie icon Grayson Waller, but there, wait a minute, Ethan Page gonna send them packing off the top rope, and Grayson Waller with a big stomp to the back of the head, and the tag made. Here comes All Ego, Ethan Page now. Page attempted to become the NXT champion a couple of weeks back. Well, a number of weeks back now, against Trick Williams. Lost out in that one, but wanted to make sure that Trick lost the championship. That he did do to Austin Theory, and he had a big part to play in that. Cover off the Snake Eyes and boot out of the corner and a kick out by Penta that time. You can imagine Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar, the LWO, looking on closely to see who they will face next week in the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, as well as the Tag Team Champions going to be looking on personally in this contest as well. Julius and Bruce, the Creed brothers, as Ray Phoenix back at Phoenix. An incredible kick that time. Phoenix now, double jump, incredible splash now on Ethan Page, the cover. Hook of the leg, shoulders down, advance into the finals, and a kick out immediately by All Ego Ethan Page as the NXT champion Austin Theory. Liking what he's seen to the outside, but not for long. Incredible poise and ran off the springboard off the bottom rope by Ray Phoenix that time. Now it's Phoenix. Gonna grab Ethan Page, nice shot there, tag made, Penta legal, double team offense now from the Lucha Brothers on Ethan Page, backstabbers in stereo now by the Lucha Brothers, and now it's Penta, oh yeah, springboard, the splash to the back, springboard, splash to the front of Page now, cover, hook in the leg, shoulders down, Penta, Phoenix to advance, there's Grayson Waller. Making a well-needed save. Ethan Page has got his ass handed to him by the Lucha Brothers here, and this one is there's Grayson Waller knocked off the apron by the Enziguri. Courtesy of Penta, leg drop now by the extraordinary Luchador. Penta victorious in his singles match debut against Grayson Waller on the second episode of NXT. Let's see if Waller can bounce back alongside Page and get the win here against Penta and Phoenix, as Penta taking out Page. So big cross body on the floor as Page hit Phoenix with an incredible back suplex in the hardest part of the ring apron. And now it's Penta going to send Ethan Page back into the squared circle. Penta and Phoenix well and firmly in control. This one, springboard, cross body by Penta, cover, shoulders down. Page in trouble, one counter kick out by All Ego Ethan Page. Penta looking good, man. The crowd firmly behind Penta and Phoenix, but there's the tag. Here's Grayson Waller, who's looking for revenge on Penta. Penta beat Waller on his NXT debut. Waller wants his win back tonight. A nice elbow drop. After that back suplex might allow Grayson Waller to get the victory here in this one. Penta in the corner. Grayson Waller with big knees in the corner. Oh, Penta, look at these knees. By the Aussie icon. And Grayson Waller with a knee out in the corner as this one continues. Wow. Back live on NXT. Waller middle rope. Wait for the leg drop and moving out the way. Fell right in his ass and now Penta. Kick to the midsection. Hook and Waller and Penta driver. Penny predicament, shoulders down. Ethan Page making the save before the official Gary Wilson can even get his hand on the mat to begin the count. My goodness. And Penta going to knock Ethan Page off the apron that time. Penta potentially looking to fly to take out All Ego here. Tope Cornelio over Ethan Page. Able to get back on the apron just in the nick of time. Oh man, and now it's Grayson Waller looking to fly, but Austin Theory got in harm's way. The NXT champion on the floor getting in the way of Grayson Waller's dive. Oh, that was an incredible maneuver there, but not what he wanted to do was Grayson Waller. A key lack of communication. Now we're looking at a double suplex by Page and Waller as Penta's ankle hits hard off the steel stairs at ringside. My goodness, now it's Waller going to send Penta back into the squared circle here in a stomp. Right to the leg that time. It's Grayson Waller thinking here. More stomps on Penta. Middle rope goes Grayson Waller as Waller looking to fly here. Yes, he is. Middle rope walking and an elbow drop to the back of Penta, who's trying to get to his feet. Here's the cover. Hook on the leg, shoulders down. Waller and Page going to the finals. And there's Ray Phoenix at one making the save. But now it's Waller. And it's Ethan Page isolating Penta in this contest. And Grayson Waller trying to knock down Ray Phoenix off the apron here. Can he get it? Yes, he can with a stunner off the apron by Penta. From behind, Penny predicament here. Crucifix on Grayson Waller. Shoulders down. 2 count. Kick out by Grayson. Grayson surviving. At least for now. Penta super kick. Did I get all that? Grayson Waller. Rocked. Forearm shot block. Penta. Oh. Knife edge shot right in the chest of the Aussie icon that time. Now it's Penta stomping away on Grayson Waller. Now it's Ethan Page. Knocked off the apron. Oh goodness. Penta looking to fly. Take out Page and this time gets it. Slingshot cross body. Penta top rope to put away the Aussie icon. Grayson Waller here. Penta flying in. Oh yeah, got it. No Waller. Able to roll through off the crossbody and Grayson Waller with a body slam. My goodness. Tag Ethan Page legal. Here comes All Ego. Ethan Page and Grayson Waller, arguably I'd say, probably had the easiest route in the first round against the Alpha Academy. Take nothing away from them two gentlemen. But it was a great victory for Page and Waller, and they didn't seem to really go through that much damage in that one. But there's Penta getting slammed down by Page. That 2 count, that kicked out, very close call. Page and Waller almost securing the victory and headed to the finals to take on Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar, the LWO. Nice American man at that time. Penta be getting a well needed tag. In comes Ray Phoenix. Now it's Phoenix. Legal with Ethan Page, Irish whip off the rope, sending Page off, and a nice German suplex, bridging pin, 2 count on Page, and a kick out. By All Ego that time. Ray Phoenix not happy. Grayson Waller getting knocked off the apron as Waller tried to come in to make the save that time. Even Austin Theory getting caught in the crossfire that time. Knife edge chop block. Page twisted ground. Oh, and Ray Phoenix with us. Penta saving the day. Stomping a break it up, and Ethan Page knocking Penta off the apron. And Ethan Page now Big kick from Ray Phoenix. Phoenix now the Irish whip gonna send him out of the corner. Ray Phoenix, what's he thinking here? Running and there's that spinning kick out of the corner. Oh, Ray Phoenix, big kick to the knee now. Shoulders down, gonna turn him into a penny predicament. Phoenix and Penta are going to the finals of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic next week. Ethan Page gonna kick out at 2. Unbelievable action, but there's Ray Phoenix in the same Page. Right back in the corner. Nice shot in the corner. We've seen this before from Ray Phoenix. Adios amigo, Ethan Page. There's that kick upside the ropes. Phoenix looking incredibly impressive here live on NXT, man. As the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic semi-final contest continues, tag made. Penta legal as this tag team contest continues live. We're back live on NXT. Tag made. Ray Phoenix is legal now once again. Package. Pale driver. Super kick from the double team by Penta and Phoenix. Phoenix legal the cover. On Ethan Page. Hook in the leg. Shoulders down in advance to the finals. 2 count. Kick out by Page. Almost the victory that time. From Page and Waller. But it's Ethan Page going to send them down that time. And making a tag. Then comes Grayson Waller, the Aussie icon, and rolls through. Starter! Oh, Ray Phoenix out of nowhere. The cover. Penta making the save before the official didn't even get his hand like smack to begin the count. My goodness, but that's Grayson Waller going to send Penta off the apron once again. And Waller going to pick up Phoenix. Not where Phoenix wants to be. Phoenix able to counter it though, and then Phoenix going to send him into the corner. Here comes Ray now. Oh, goodness. Not going to be there. Mexican muscle buster by Ray. Penny predicament. Page now coming and making a save at 1. Oh my goodness. What a tag team battle tonight. Live on NXT. Phoenix waiting for Penta to get back in the apron. Tag made. Here comes the extraordinary luchador as Ethan Page. Gonna knee him that time, but there's Penta with a baseball slide drop kick that time. But now what's Penta gonna make? Oh, went for a Grayson Waller, but he missed that mark. Waller now gonna try and capitalize the cover. Shoulders down on Penta. Scores 2 to try and get his win back over. The extraordinary luchador, but Penta kicking out at 2. What a battle. Still got an incredible main event to come tonight. Live on NXT, and of course Saturday night's main event coming your way this weekend as well. As Grayson Waller gets sent out of that corner. A Tope taking out Ethan Page. Finally able to get him this time as Penta. The nice stop. But look at Waller. Tope suicide this time connecting on Penta and not the NXT champion Austin Theory who was in the way like earlier on. Waller sends Penta back into that squared circle. And now it's Grayson Waller trying to get his win back against Penta from Penta's debut victory of the series against Grayson. With a little helping hand from Page in this one, but sending Grayson back into the corner and knocking Ethan Page back off the apron. Into the corner now. Tag made. Here comes Ray Phoenix. More double team tandem offense from the Lucha Brothers incoming perhaps. Ray Phoenix legal. And the tombstone position. Penta springboard. Saturn spike. Tombstone driver that time. The cover. Phoenix legal on Waller, hook in the leg, shoulders down, Page back at the apron, can't make it in time as the Lucha Brothers advance into the finals of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. What a match! An incredible semi-final contest tonight, folks, and it will be the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Phoenix battling the LWO Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar next week. And the finals of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Cannot wait for that extraordinary contest, which will be coming up next week, folks.
Penta and Phoenix, the Luchadors.
Big win for the Lucha Bros. Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar better be ready for their opponents next week. And the Creed Brothers going to have a close eye on that finals coming your way next week on NXT. Well, let's take a look at the brackets now. That is the finals. That's the LWO. That's the Lucha Brothers. That's going down. Next week, the finals of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And there's the match right there, man. Cannot wait for it. Escobar and Lee, the LWO, 2 former Cruiserweight champions, battle Penta and Phoenix and the finals of the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Also next week though, folks, another NXT Women's Jackpot Ladder Match qualifying contest. Kalani Jordan going to go one-on-one with Lola Vase. That's coming your way next week. Cannot wait for that one. And then another NXT Women's Jackpot Ladder Match qualifying contest. Triple threat action. The main event next week. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and Jordan Grace. But whoever wins the matchup is going to face NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's title at Battleground. Whoever loses but doesn't get pinned or submitted to lose the contest is going to NXT Jackpot Ladder Match at Battleground. But coming up next, folks, it is now time for your main event of the evening. Live on NXT, North American Champion Big Bronson Reed in non-title action, taking on former NXT Champion Trick Williams in an NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder Match qualifying contest for NXT Battleground. Out first, that is the NXT North American Champ.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Black Forest, South Australia, weighing in at 330 pounds, the NXT North American Champion, Big Bronson Reed.
This one has combustible written all over it. A colossal main event incoming tonight as Big Bronson Reed has 4 successful defenses of his NXT North American Championship. But this one, not a championship contest, it's just simply a qualifying matchup to join Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Obafemi, and Miles Bourne to become the 4th man to qualify out of the NXT Jackpot Men's Ladder Match at NXT Battlegrounds. We'll find out the other 2 in the next 2 weeks to come here, building towards Battleground and Money in the Bank. But here comes the former NXT champion who wants to get back to winning ways. What a better way to do it than to qualify for this contest. Trick Willie then, ladies and gentlemen, the former NXT champion, looking to get back to winning ways. Trying to qualify by beating Big Bronson Reed's not going to be an easy task though. And then he wants to go on to NXT Battleground, become Mr. Jackpot, just like Carmelo Hayes won the NXT contract last year. Trick wants to follow in his footsteps. He already beat Melo to become the NXT champion at WrestleMania. And a 172-day reign as champion did Trick. Wants to become a 2-time champion. What better way to do it than to win the Jackpot Ladder Match and cash in anytime, anywhere over the next year. But Big Bronson Reed, like I said, not being pinned, not being submitted this season, currently undefeated, but yet so was the young OG Javon Evans, the Cruiserweight champion, heading into the first Battleground Jackpot qualifying matchup last week against Dirty Dom Mysterio, but Dirty Dom ending the undefeated streak of Javon Evans in that non-title qualifying matchup last week. Can Trick Williams do the same against Big Bronson Reed? Your main event tonight, we find out live in Orlando on the black and silver brand. Your main event, Reed, Trick, non-title NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder Match qualifier. Bell has been rung and Reed jumps him before the bell even rang. My goodness, Reed is not playing around in your main event here tonight. Referee Jeremy Marcus assigned the duties for this main event. Here live on NXT this evening as Bronson Reed back elbow drop that time on Trick Williams off the ropes. Now goes the North American champion, sent on now by Bronson Reed. Off the ropes looking for another senton, able to nail it. And Trick's midsection going to be hurting after that one. And another one on knees up though by Trick that time. Trick able to get the knees up. Able to stop it with his tracks and a big spinning cyclone boot by Trick Willie. And look at Trick go. Big shot through upside the top of the head by Trick Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are enjoying this WWE 2K26 Universe Mode Series, make sure you leave a like for me and subscribe if you haven't already with the notification bell turned on, so you don't miss any more of this fantastic WWE 2K26 Universe Mode. This is only just getting started, folks. This is episode 40 of the season, coming your way this weekend at Saturday night's main event. We got a huge show planned for y'all this weekend, folks. Do not miss that, and let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything you feel like I can improve on in this series. I would love to hear from you. I'd love for that feedback down below, folks. I'm always open to constructive criticism. It helps me grow as a person, helps this channel grow, and helps us grow as a community. Let's back to the main event at Bronson Reed. Gonna pick Trick up by the hair and yanking him down like canvas. hard there. My goodness. Big Bronson Reed not playing around tonight. Irish whip off the ropes. Reed now. Oh, running right through him like a foot to the elbow drop. By Big Bronson Reed. Reed has defeated the likes of Austin Theory, Miles Bourne, Tony D'Angelo, and Joe Hendry. And 4 successful defenses of his NXT North American Championship since winning it on the final NXT event of last season. NXT TakeOver Stand and deliver a 6-man ladder match, beating the champion Theory, the former champion Matt Riddle, Ilya Dragunov, Solo Sikoa, and Damian Priest in that opening contest on that night. Trick Williams, they face shot, big shots now from Trick, the former NXT champion. Big boot blocked by Big Bronson Reed, forearm there by Reed. Waistlock now from the North American champion, and a side slam by Reed. Cover hook in the leg. Shoulders down, Jeremy Marcus right there. 2 count kick out by Trick at 2. Trick, the former NXT champion, in trouble here is Big Bronson Reed. Big cross body to the outside of the ring, taking care of Trick on the floor, man. And Trick, man, he badly wants to be NXT champion again. He lost it to Austin Theory in very weird circumstances, controversial circumstances, from assistance from both Grayson Waller and All Ego Ethan Page, the man that Trick was in a rivalry with before Austin Theory came out of the scene and challenged for the NXT Championship. He then lost in his rematch alongside Obafemi in a triple threat contest 2 weeks ago, with Theory retaining, pinning Trick Williams. Nice pounce there. Pouncing Big Bronson Reed all across the ring, but Reed kicking out immediately. Gonna take a lot more. Gonna put down the big Aussie, and Bronson Reed with a headbutt and an elbow drop by Osala, and a second one. I believe Trick has been busted wide open off the ropes. Reed, oh, went for the senton again. Knees up by the former NXT champion. Trick inside cradle, small package, shoulders down here. Jeremy Marcus right there, only one, says the official. Reed able to kick out that time. Now it's Trick picking him up. Knife edge chop by Trick Williams. Trick now picks him up off the ropes. There's that slam dunk. Spinning neck breaker by Trick. Went for the stop. Reed said, hell no, Bronson Reed. Cleaning his clock. Almost decapitating the former NXT champion Trick Williams. Reed, oh goodness. Powerbomb. Oh, devastation. Cover, shoulders down on Trick. There's 2, and Bronson Reed almost qualifying that time. But a kick out by the former NXT champion. Trick not happy, didn't get his fair one-on-one rematch for the NXT championship, but Obafemi did earn his opportunity at the NXT title, making it a triple threat matchup, which he was not pinned or submitted in, and he was not pinned in the triple threat last week either. 2 count from Trick off the floor over Uranagi, the floor over Buchan, not enough for 3. He was not pinned or submitted in the triple threat last week as well, was Obafemi. That's how he got into the NXT Jackpot ladder match alongside Dirty Dom Mysterio, Miles Bourne, and the winner of this contest. And out Trick off the top, big flying clothesline that time. Oh, Big Bronson Reed looks the stop moving on the horns. Where Reed running in. STO on Trick. And around that corner is Trick Williams, Bronson Reed. Gonna take him out that corner. Hard there, and look at that. Big Bronson Reed with an elbow drop here on NXT. Incredible crowd tonight. Reed now gonna pick up Trick Williams. Looking for the jagged edge. No way for the Death Valley driver. Trick him on the Hungs way. Knife edge shot. The knife edge. Block. Knife edge by Reed. Reed though. Wait a minute. Axe driver gonna drop Trick Williams on his head. And a busted open former champ's in trouble here. Hook in the leg, shoulders down, Reed to qualify for the next men's jackpot ladder match, and somehow Trick kicked out. And Bronson Reed can't believe his eyes. On the referee getting taken out by Reed off that clothesline. And Reed with another clothesline. Moving up the way, now it's Trick off another more offense, and Trick shot connecting. Trick covers with the ref still down. Now he's getting up. Hook in the leg, shoulders down, will this be enough here? There's 1. Slow count, though it's 2, and a kick out by Reed because of that slow count. After Reed took out referee Jeremy Marcus there. Oh, man. Trick knife edge, big shot of the face, now a Bronson Reed. And Trick lighting up Reed this time. Look at the knife edge chops, and Trick, oh, boot caught by Bronson. Reed doesn't, or Trick, sorry, doesn't want to be there. Reed with shots, incredible offense, and now it's Bronson Reed with a side suplex. Both men are down. Crucial part of the matchup and your main event today. And Reed, oh my god, Bronson Reed's going to the freaking top rope. Bronson Reed, high red, district, high risk, high award, big knee drop. Right from the top, right to the throat of the former NXT champion, Trick Williams, now sending him near the barriers. Now on the track with a Uranagi at the outside of the ring. Incredible strength by Williams, and look at this going over to our announce table now. Gonna take it apart. No way is he thinking I put Big Bronson Reed through it tonight. That would be incredible. That would be colossal. Putting a colossal Aussie through the announce table here. I mean, that would be a great way to get the victory. A great way to qualify for the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder match at Battleground. Trick going in and out to break the count from the official Jeremy Marcus. And now Trick and Bronson. Precarious possession, both men fighting here right in front of his honor announce table, live in Orlando on your main event on NXT. And strong go back right hand, and a big splash off that table, almost like a tsunami there by Bronson Reed. Count of 6, Reed to win this one by counter. A counter win will be enough for Reed to qualify for the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder match, but no, he goes back out and sent on off the apron on Trick. And Trick's ribcage and midsection gonna be in all sorts of agony in this one. Bronson Reed sending Trick against the table. He could have gotten the count out win, but Reed elected against it, going out and inflicting more damage to the former NXT champ. Trick right hand though, and look at the strength of Trick. Oh my goodness, a power slam through the table. Power slamming right through the table. That's a thing of beauty. Sends him back in out the count of 5, floating over the big Aussie. Into the cover center of the ring. He got the tree trunk legs. Shoulders down. 2 count. Going to Battleground. And a kick out by Reed. Unbelievable action in your main event tonight, man. Oh, Trick, big kick. Oh, calling a hammy was Big Bronson Reed. And after all this, Reed got put through our announce table. He's still back on the offensive. Jagged Edge, Death Valley driver by the North American champion, heading up high red district. This is the end of Trick, and the drop zone, and Tsunami connects. Come on, hook in the leg, shoulders down. There's two Bronson Reed. No, Trick kicks out again. I was so getting ready to say Bronson Reed was going to the NXT Jackpot Men's Ladder match at NXT Battleground, but Trick kicked out of the tsunami somehow, some way. Big knee there in the midsection, that's Trick shot. Second tail lash, Trick shot on the face as he countered the axe driver in the cover. 2 count, Trick Williams with a monumental victory. The first man this season to pin that shoulder to the canvas of the NXT North American champion. Big Bronson Reed. That's both Javon Evans and Bronson Reed suffering their first losses in qualifying matchups for the NXT Men's Jackpot Ladder match at NXT Battleground. What an incredible battle, including this. This is what gave Trick Williams a great opportunity to get the one, which he ended up doing at the end. Big power slam through the table, countering the axe driver, and a second trick shot right in the face of the Oscilla for the 1-2-3 Trick Williams, on track of potentially becoming a 2-time NXT champion.
Here is your winner, Trick Williams.
Well, what a matchup, what a win for Trick Williams, and what a show it has been here tonight live in Orlando, Florida, as always in the Performance Center on the black and silver brand of NXT. That's all we have time for here tonight, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night for a great episode of SmackDown. Don't miss that, and peace.